Well, Europe is currently grappling with its worst refugee crisis since the Second World War, with some 500,000 people estimated to have arrived since the beginning of this year. Those numbers, however, pale into comparison when considering the number of Syrian refugees seeking shelter nearby. Turkey hosts around 2 million, Lebanon over 1 million, and Egypt has some 300,000. But they feel unwelcome in Cairo and are keen to move on. This report from Sharif Abdelkudus.
A remote suburb on the desert outskirts of Cairo. This is where the majority of Syrian refugees live. But Egypt is not as welcoming to outsiders as it once was. Ayman and his wife Khawla fled Damascus 3 years ago in search of safety and a better future. But for them and other Syrians, daily life in Egypt is becoming increasingly difficult.
There's no future for the children. There's no good education here. We have problems with money and work, big problems. We can barely manage.
In this isolated part of the city, Khawla's afraid to go outside on her own. Syrian refugees have become easy targets for thieves and criminals. But above all, it's her son's future that she's worried about and is causing her to consider moving again.
Next summer, if I have the money, I'll leave. Returning to Damascus is impossible. All roads are blocked. We want some path to open so we can live a normal life. We don't want any luxury. We don't need the best school, but just that my son can be educated like other children.
Dima's family left Egypt a month ago and took a small boat bound for Europe.
They left from Alexandria and they suffered a lot on the boat. When my father arrived, he said they had no water on board. Some people had to drink the seawater.
Despite the perils of the trip and the exorbitant costs, most Syrians are trying to reach Europe. To try and dissuade them and stem the flow, this NGO is warning refugees about the risks of smuggling. But stopping them from leaving Egypt is proving difficult, in part because Syrians face hostility from some segments of the local community who regard all refugees that oppose the Assad regime as Islamists.
There were problems between Syrians who joined the Muslim Brotherhood and Egyptians. And this caused some violence against Syrians.
Politics aside, many Egyptians also blame Syrian refugees for the worsening economic situation.
These Syrians need support, bread and work. A lot of young people have no jobs. There is an unemployment crisis, and this has increased that crisis.
Over the past 2 years, as many as 30,000 Syrians have left Egypt for Europe, and the ones who remain say they feel trapped in a country where they're increasingly